Hi, it's Amy from Plan.Craft.Repeat. I thought I would take a few minutes and do a walkthrough of my November memory keeping journal. I think that's what I'm calling it, using Coco Daisy's Doodles and Dashes collection. This month, I decided to go a little bit smaller. If you follow me over on Instagram or happen to see my last YouTube video in October, I used an A5 Daisy Dori to write down stories and little happenings throughout the month. And it was just a little too much real estate. So November, I decided that I wanted to go smaller, and I picked up the standard size Traveler's Notebook Daisy Dori. And again, I decided to take it apart, and this time I disbound it. And so far, I'm really happy with the way it's turned out. I took one of the pattern papers from the main planner kit and laminated it. I cut it down just slightly bigger than the actual Traveler's Notebook pages, and then laminated it using 5mm laminating sheets that I had at home. I added a pocket from the classified planner keeping kit and put a few pages from the notepad that came in the main planner kit in the pocket. My notebook is set up into 3 sections, and this first section, this is the entire Traveler's Notebook Daisy Dori. I used that to make the entire first section, and this is the title page to that notebook. What I did was, because I decided I wanted to use it as a divider, I ended up mounting it on some other pattern paper that came in one of the memory keeping kits, just to give it that sturdiness that I wanted it to have to be a divider. I'm using the smaller tabs that you can find in the planner add-on kit, and then I just took a sticker from the Daisy add-on sticker kit to title it Hello November. This is the calendar that comes in the Traveler's Notebook Daisy Dori, and I'm not going to use it to like write any of the events that we have for the month. The only thing I did do is add a few stickers to indicate some important dates and to highlight the days the kids have off of school this month. This first page, I decided, or I think I've decided, haven't done it yet, but my plan is to have a list of things that I need to do in preparation for the holiday this month. So I need to get to that because it's going to be here before we know it. The other thing I decided I wanted to include in this notebook was my trackers. I like to look back at my trackers just to see, like, when I know I was doing really well, like what other things were going on in my life. Like, why was I doing so well and why am I not doing well right now? So this month I'm tracking exercise, reading, and my daily journaling. Here's where I've created a calendar that I will actually write on, but I'm not going to write on it until the events or whatever appointments we have for the month of November after they happen. The only thing I have added is my younger son is in play production at his high school, and they're getting ready for their fall play. And so he's got his tech days and then the actual performance days. So that is happening. So it is on my calendar. The other thing I did was I added some leaves for some of the important days in the month. Since November started on a Tuesday, what I decided to do was use the extra page to create a currently. So this will be where I put what I'm currently reading, watching, listening to, enjoying, etc. So right now, I am currently reading Riley Thorne and the Blast from the Past. I read the first 2 books in the series in October and decided to read the third this month. And as you can see, I have relocated the weekly striped pages, and I did cut them down again this month because I really like having them distinguishable between the other pages in my notebook. Haven't used it yet, but my thought obviously is to write down November gratitudes here, so I need to get working on that. Um, I don't know what I'll do on the back side. Maybe I will highlight one of my gratitudes. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But here you can see I've basically dedicated one day per page with the exception of the weekends, and I'll get to that in a second. And it's just a place where I can put a 2x2 photo, write a little bit about that photo, and a few things that happened throughout the day. You can see it better here. So on the date portion, so this little portion right here, my plan is to write down any appointments or time specific items here. So for example, on Wednesday, my son Andrew, he had to work at 1 o'clock, and then it was a tech night for my younger son, and I wrote the hours that he had tech. That actually changed, but that's beside the point. So again, 2x2 photo, a little bit about the photo, and then some other things that happened during the day. I took the acrylic bookmark and I punched it with my Happy Planner punch. And so this can now be used as a bookmark and moved throughout my notebook as we move along throughout the month. And here's my Thursday. And I've kind of pre-planned where I'm going to put my 2x2 photos for this first week just to get myself going. But here you'll see I have Saturday and Sunday on one page, excuse me. And that's simply because I don't typically do a whole lot on the weekends. My husband works, so it's usually just me and the boys, and it's just usually stuff around the house these days, now that my kids are no longer playing sports. But as you can see, I have it set up one day per page with the exception of Saturday and Sunday. And so far, I think this is going to be a great size to get me through the month of November. So the last page in the Daisy Dori, I've decided to use as my highlights page. And so I believe I mentioned this in my last video, but in case you haven't seen that, I typically write down like the big things that happen throughout the month on my highlights page. And this is what I use when I go back to document, like in my 6x8 album or in my kids' personal albums. I will use the notes that are here to help me document in those other places. So this is, again, the first section of my notebook, and it's this month. And it's, again, all pages from the Traveler's Notebook Daisy Dori. I created 2 more sections, again, using some pattern paper from the memory keeping kits. And this is a notes section. And so this is basically going to be my brain dump section. We're getting close to the holidays, which means I'm going to be shopping for my kids and other family members. And so I'll be creating pages for each of them and writing down ideas, sizes, things that I want to get them for the holidays, probably shopping lists for Thanksgiving, what food we need, those kinds of things. And then I also created a next month divider. So I just whipped up some calendars because my thought is I'm going to use this setup next month as an on-the-go planner, because I did decide for December I picked up a B6 Daisy Dori, and I'm going to try that out. I have some ideas on what I want to do for that, so I can include some of those pages in my December daily album. I believe they're sized close to 5x7s, so they would be like a perfect size for me to be able to include in my December daily. And that album or notebook, that is going to be hole punched. It's not going to be disc bound. So anyways, going back to this, these will be pages that I can transfer from this disc bound system for the month of November into a future disc bound traveler's notebook. So I just have some calendars in there, and then I can just jot down appointments or things that I want to remember, things we might want to do, that kind of thing. So anyways, that is my traveler's notebook size memory keeping journal for November. Again, I was using Coco Daisy's Doodles and Dashes collection. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment. Thank you so much for stopping by.